Stay tuned for the Splash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for being here. I'm your host for today, Kevin McIntosh. Expecting some hot summer heat this week, and summer heat means higher energy bills. So how can you stay cool and save money? I actually met with local home inspector Jessica Lawton to share easy and effective tips for homeowners and renters alike.
Depending on what you want to do, right? So the best thing, everybody wants their house nice and cool, is to maintain your air conditioner. And a lot of people think, oh, I have to have somebody come out to do that. There are things that you can do yourself. The easiest is making sure you're changing your filter. Every 3 to 4 months, maybe 3 months if you have a lot of dogs, pets, anything like that, that dander clogs up. Usually at least twice a summer, just doing a home inspection, I end up defrosting somebody's air conditioner because of a dirty filter. So changing that filter is going to help the airflow, keep the coil colder, keep it clean. And then there's some other items you can use, like making sure that your suction line insulation on the unit, which I'll show you how to do. That's an easy thing to do yourself. You can get reflective window film so that when the sun is bouncing in, it sort of reflects it back out so that the windows don't absorb it the same way. And then we can also talk about some things in terms of not losing all that cold air that you're paying for by caulking and filling gaps and things like that on the outside of your house.
With the AC being the main component to fight the summer heat, Jessica continued by further explaining the lifetime and maintenance required on our home air conditioning system.
And air conditioners up here, honestly, 15 to 25 years we get, because they only work for a few months out of the year, right? Our furnaces work a lot harder than our air conditioners here in Michigan. If you haven't been staying on top of, or maybe the person who lived in your home before wasn't staying on top of keeping their filters changed, the A-coil that sits at your furnace, that can actually get dirty and it can cause the A-coil to ice up, which sounds like you should get really cold air, but that's not what it means. It means you'll actually get warm air. So staying on top of changing filters, like it's not just air quality, it actually is the function of the system.
Another great perspective we learned to consider is the direction and location of our home and how it affects heating and cooling.
In this home, these windows here, the front of the home is south facing. So south facing windows get sun all day long, right? So it's a good idea when we get those really hot sunny days, keep the curtains drawn on that. You're not going to get as much of what they call solar gain, right? So the house isn't sort of just heating up because the sun is just shining through those windows. East facing, you're going to get morning sun and then shade in the afternoon. If you know your home is south facing and you're leaving in the morning, it might be a good idea just to close up those curtains before you leave so that it doesn't just sort of shine through and kind of warm up the house all day long. So you're coming home to a house that's much hotter, or your HVAC system is working really hard to cool the house while you're gone.
Our local utility providers also have resources available to help you get the most of your energy while saving money.
DTE and consumers both have programs for that. They have rebates that they offer. Like I know DTE does a rebate for smart thermostats. I think it's around $50 right now for a smart thermostat. They also DTE has a program for interruptible air conditioning service, so they can install a second meter on your air conditioner. They'll offer you a lower rate that just the electricity the air conditioner uses in exchange for that. And then also, if you do decide to put in a new air conditioner, if you get to a certain level of efficiency, or what's called the SEER rating, you will get rebates back on that as well, depending on how energy efficient it is.
Great tips. And for more energy-saving advice, visit dteenergy.com, consumersenergy.com, or just check with your local utility provider for more information. Bring your blankets and lawn chairs for a fun-filled outdoor movie night tonight, Tuesday, July 22nd, 6:30 p.m. at the West Bloomfield High School football field, aka the Swamp. For just $3 cash per person, enjoy a screening of Moana 2 Under the Summer Sky. It seems like a very great event. All ticket proceeds, by the way, support the school activity fund and concessions, including pizza, popcorn, ice cream, and just overall refreshments. They all benefit the athletic department. You don't have to RSVP, but this is not a drop-off for kids, so all children must be accompanied by an adult. Just to let you know, this event presented in partnership with West Bloomfield Parks, and you can visit them on their Facebook page at WB Parks. A massive new elementary school has many in the community curious about what's taking shape behind the fences. I actually went inside the Chico Elementary School project to get the inside scoop.
The building is essentially divided up into 5 parts. They're going to be working on the building from west to east. At the far east end over there, they've started the new preschool, which will be attached to the main building. All of the classrooms are here on the south side of the building. The architect designed that purposefully to get in a lot of natural light into those rooms. And then beyond that, there's a large open concourse. And then beyond that, we have the gymnasium and cafeteria, so we'll go check it all out.
Mr. Stottlemyre started the tour inside, highlighting one of the newest features for safety and security of the students.
One of the things I wanted to mention that's nice about this building, and we're going to incorporate this into the design at Doherty, is we have these safety cubbies. It's essentially, it's the safety shelter for 2 classrooms. So 2 classrooms then would be able to go into these cubby rooms right here, close the door, and this becomes their safety shelter for both severe weather, and if they have a lockdown incident, they would be able to go into these cubbies and be safe.
As we continue to the second floor, Jamie shares the purpose of an extended learning space.
This here is the campfire circle. It's actually going to be an enclosed extended learning area. And that's one of the things in modern education is the kids aren't just in the classroom all day long. Learning is everywhere. So they bring them out into these extended learning spaces where they could, get 1 or 2 classrooms here together and work on lessons with the kids. So this here overlooks the main concourse, as you can see from the second floor.
We also explored the cafeteria area with the unique piece of technology installed.
So here we are in the new cafeteria. As you can see, we have a large bay window in the back. They're going to have some blackout roller shades that come down, and that's going to transform into the stage area when they need it. So this is a very bright, open space. It's fairly large. They're going to have a neat piece of equipment over on that wall called the Sketch Aquarium. It's going to allow the students to sketch out fish, and it's going to import them onto the screen, and they can move the fish around on the screen and stuff. It's going to be a pretty cool feature, to provide some additional ties to the curriculum here.
At the conclusion of the tour, Jamie explains what's still being worked on and when the school will be open.
We can't go any further. Obviously, you can see the caution tape there. The steel workers are putting up the structural steel in the office area. Above the office is going to be the new eye center and STEAM lab, so they're getting that all prepped. And for safety reasons, we can't go any further. But just beyond that is the gymnasium, and beyond that, we have more classrooms and stuff. So it's kind of a mirror image of this half of the building. But we're getting we're very excited. It's moving along really well, and we're slated to be done in June. So we're excited.
And for continued updates on the Chico Elementary construction and other news from the district, follow West Bloomfield Schools on Facebook at West Bloomfield Schools for more. The Sunset Charity Gala is hosted by NOCBOR, that's the North Oakland County Board of Realtors, and the gala actually has proceeds going to Humble Detroit, a local organization that helps families transition out of homelessness. From NOCBOR, we recently spoke with Diana Avenue and Renee Drummond to share more about the event. I can't wait to talk about this event and what you all have going on. Very, very special. I just want to start with you, Diane. Let's get into it. What inspired the organization NOCBOR to create this Sunset Charity Gala?
So thank you, Kevin. We do a lot of charity work at NACBOR. We have a monthly euchre tournament, but not during the summer. And Renee and I were doing a wine tasting one day, and it just kind of organically happened out of that. I said, hey, what if we did this at NACBOR in the summer when we don't have other events going on? And we linked it with a charity. And then it just kind of grew. But what if we did it outside? If we had a beach setting, if we had music, if we have charcuterie, it just kind of exploded.
It sounds like you just kept adding better things and just make it sound like a good time as well. Now, with that being said, can you just briefly just tell us how the event has evolved over time as well?
Yeah, so this is our inaugural event, actually.
Okay.
We're very excited for this.
Nice.
We had to pivot from a wine tasting event because the venue that we have over on at the Bayside Beach Association, which was donated, by the way, as a venue, they don't allow glass, so we couldn't pull off the wine tasting because the wine tasting is in itself a charity event, and of course she has to show her beautiful bottles. So what we're going to do instead is I'm going to make a white sangria and a red sangria. We're going to have some delicious bevies there in plastic containers, of course.
Gotta do what you gotta
do. Yeah. We wanted it to be a good time, right? We want to give our members and other members of the community that want to support the charity some bang for their buck, right? It's summertime. Let's be outside. Let's be near the beach. Let's do summertime things. So that was our vision. It's again, our inaugural event, and we're hoping to sell it out at 55 people.
Okay, that's what we're here for, to get that word out as well. Now, Renee, moving on to you, let's talk about it. What can attendees expect from the overall atmosphere of the event?
It is going to be a fantastic atmosphere. It's going to be very relaxed. It's going to be right there on the beach. You're going to have a lovely background with all the water and the music. We've got a saxophone player. We've got drinks. It's just going to be relaxing and nice and fun and casual. Just really a nice evening by the sunset. That's kind of our goal, is just to really take advantage of a Michigan summer night and enjoy that together. And doing it for a good charity, a good cause.
Exactly. And I want to kind of elaborate on that. I want you to continue on that, Renee. So what do you feel like makes this event stand out from other maybe summer fundraisers or galas, however you pronounce them, in our area?
Well, I think a lot of time in Michigan especially, it seems like we do a lot of golf outings, which are fantastic. We're getting ready to do one ourselves. We love those, but this is something totally different. This is, okay, maybe you don't play golf. Maybe you don't want to be in the heat all the time, but you are a person who really just enjoys relaxing with a glass of wine and while you're listening to some good music and talking to friends. So this is kind of that kind of environment that we want to create, just a very relaxing, fun event, while we do this as a charity for a fantastic organization that ties in. It ties in with our real estate, ties in with the North Oakland Board of Realtors. So it's a really good tie-in to help the community, but also get our word out there.
Okay. So I want to further pick your brains about what we're expecting at this event. But with me right here live on the Splash, by the way, from the North Oakland County Board of Realtors, Renee Drummond, and we all have Diana Avenue talking about the upcoming NACBOR event that'll be the Sunset Charity Gala. I'm always confused if it's gala or gala, but it will be coming soon right here in our area.
Kevin.
Yeah. I'm like, which one is it? But ultimately, so I want to ask you, Diana, about your performer for the evening, Antonio Muse, if I pronounced that right. Can you just talk about
Antonio Muse? Yes.
Talk about why they were selected, please.
So we wanted to have like a very soft kind of jazzy music background, and in researching and asking for referrals, he was a standout. So he played one of my very good friends and a fellow NACBOR member's birthday party, and she said he was a big hit. And doing some research with him, he does a lot of charity events. He plays at some wineries. And to be honest with you, when I got on the phone with him, we were talking about price, and he goes, you know what? He goes, I do this because I like it, and for these charity events, I'm not here to make a ton of money. So he gave us a very, very reasonable price, which we are looking to get sponsored, by the way. We're still looking for # need sponsors. And so he's just very genuine, very nice, and it fits in with the backdrop of what we're hoping to present at the event, which is kind of casual summer relax.
Yeah. Oh, we need that. That has to be part of our summer. At least one event like that where we get to just chill, have some wine, some sangria, listen to some good. Oh my goodness! Don't let me start right there. But Diane, I want to continue with.
Yes.
We need babysitters for that night.
We might need some babysitters. If I may, Kevin, I just wanted to talk, I wanted to kind of expound a little bit on what Renee said about the event and how we chose Humble Design.
Please.
We're in the business of putting people in homes, right? So the Northern Oakland County Board of Realtors is comprised with about 900 realtors and other affiliates like myself. And we oftentimes, are working with families, getting into homes, and it is a big deal. But then we forget about the people that don't have homes, right? The people that struggle to find homes. And Humble Design as a charity fits such a wonderful need. We wanted to make sure that they got some love and appreciation for everything that they do. And they are going to be in attendance that evening as well. Kim and her director, and I believe his name is Chris, are going to be there to also talk about the charity. So we really want to be able to just make people aware that there are, while we're all here having a good time and celebrating at closing tables, that there are people that are struggling to find shelter, and they help with that. So, yeah.
I think that's very important that you mention that as well. And this is something I kind of want you all to elaborate on as well, just talking about, you're representing NOC, North Oakland County's Board of Realtors. We people like, why are realtors doing stuff like this? A charity, like, why are they even involved in the community? But I wanted you all to paint that picture. And if you want to, Renee, if you want to further elaborate on that, the importance of community engagement when it comes to NOC and how it actually coincides with your mission.
It does. And, the first thing as a real estate agent, personally, I'm a real estate agent, and my job is to connect people with the home.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's your most expensive home, your least expensive, your first, your last, your middle. It doesn't matter. My job is to connect you with the home that you need. And I tell all of my clients, home is where your heart is. And I think that is a lot of what we talk about. And this gives us an opportunity because Diana's right. We are so focused on getting the deal to the table and getting our clients in the home that they need that we forget there are people out there that are struggling to get a home. And that's just as important. That is crucially important. We want everyone to have a home. Everyone should have a home, a place to call home, a place to go, a place to feel safe. And that really, I'm so glad that we're able to do this charity because that's what they're about. They're about putting your home back together. It's one thing to go from homeless to finally getting a home, and that's so exciting. But what's more exciting is when you get to go in and it's set up. It's set up as a home because, again, you got the home, but what if you don't have the bed? What if you don't have the dresser? This charity, Humble Design goes in and fills those spaces for you. We want everyone to fill their heart with the home. So that is the goal of this charity, is to make sure that we really promote what this charity does and how important it is that we're so excited that they get to not be away from being homeless, that they've moved out of that situation. But we also want them to continue to be happy there and to flourish and grow from that.
Yes, I'm so glad that you all have that in you to even consider the people who are going through homelessness and helping them get to that next level. We've actually worked with Humble Design, or actually had, we shot videos, or I should say, stories with local West Bloomfield high school residents or students partnering with Humble Design, and we saw the lives that it changed, and we were happy to be there, and we actually shared that story on our website as well. So great that you all are doing that. Just a few things before we let you go. Just continuing with you, Renee, if you want to, just tell us, what do you all expect in regards to growth for this event in the upcoming years?
Oh, we would love to do this every year. Are you kidding? We would love this thing to grow. I mean, right now, like Diana said, we're expecting 50 people. That would be awesome. But because it's new, and everybody's got all these events that they can do during the summer. If they choose to do our event, wow, we are thrilled to death. But next year, I'd like to see 100 people. The next year, let's do 150. Yeah. I mean, because again, this is all going to help our community, all of our community. And I think that that's how your community grows. We help each other grow. We are a village. It takes a village. And so I would love to see this thing be a yearly event and grow, and it would be fabulous. And maybe even take have people that have been through, like you said, Kevin, you've done this program, you know what it is, have some of those people come back a year from now and say, this is what it did for me and my family. I mean, wow, how powerful would that be?
I know. Oh, I love that too. I love that. And just ending with you, Diana, if you want to just give out the details of the event again and any other information you want to share with our audience.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We are excited to present the first annual Sunset Charity Gala. It is going to be on July 31st from 6 to 9 p.m. with live music, delicious sangria. We are going to have a beautiful charcuterie spread and desserts. It is $40 per person or $60 per couple. We want to make it cost effective for you. Nice. It's going to be at the Bayside Beach Association at 4343 Borland Street in West Bloomfield. And you can register on the website at www.nocbor.com. That is NOCBOR. Or you can call Christy after tomorrow at 248-674-4080. And we are still looking, since it's a charity event, we are still looking for a food sponsor and a music sponsor for a total of about $800. So if any of your listeners want to get in front of a fantastic group of real estate professionals and help a wonderful charity, we would love to talk to them.
Be a great time to collaborate and do it for a great cause as well. Once again, from the North Oakland County Board of Realtors, Renee Drummond and Diana Avenue, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you again. And for more information on their event or organization, visit their website, nocbor.com, NOCBOR.com for more. The Key to the Township Awards are Wednesday, July 30th, honoring local residents and people who have made a difference in the Greater West Bloomfield community. One of the people being honored is joining us right here on the Splash Live. We want to welcome Branch People Leader for Community Financial Credit Union, Sean St. Andre. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely, Kevin. Thanks for having me. I really, really appreciate the time.
You are being specially recognized and acknowledged during the Key to the Township Awards, receiving the Community Excellence Award for Spirit of the Community. Congratulations, first and foremost, to that. Just talk about, what does that mean to you personally and professionally?
Man, personally, I know it sounds cliche to say, but I'm so incredibly humbled to have my work with Community Financial Credit Union recognized. Most people go their entire career and don't get that opportunity. Professionally, I'm really excited. I'm excited that that the platform for the work that we're doing, not just in West Bloomfield, but also in our other communities, is being elevated to a place where we can invite other partners to come along and join us. And really, the work that we're doing in West Bloomfield, our team, is just us carrying out the mission of Community Financial, of spreading joy and helping Michiganders ignite impossible dreams.
We love that. It seemed like you're speaking with a lot of passion as well, just looking at you as well. Speaking of that, the Spirit of the Community Award, essentially, it highlights passion, service, and connection. How would you say your work actually embodies those specific qualities?
Those are the three key words right there. Passion for the people who are placed in front of us each day. Mm-hmm. In my case, in finance, passion of, in helping them find meaningful ways that they can unwind that very mysterious and difficult industry to navigate. Service in leading an interruptible life, and caring for each and every person that's placed in front of us. And that connection key is so important. It's the absolute pinnacle to what we do. I believe that the community is a place that's comprised of people of different walks of life, different talents, and we need all those talents at the table. We need everybody to have a seat. We need them to bring those gifts, and we need them to invest them back in the community.
Well said too, Sean. Now I want to ask you, has there been any initiatives or even community partnerships that you've actually helped lead that you're maybe something special, a milestone, or something that you're proud of?
I don't even know where to start with that. We're continuously deepening our relationship with Friendship Circle. I'm sure you're familiar with them. If you or anybody listening isn't, I really encourage you to take a look at them as an organization. They're doing some phenomenal things, helping create space and community for people who may be otherwise separated from community. Our relationship with the West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, my family over at the Chaldean American Chamber of Commerce. I think, though, if there was one I had to pinpoint, one I'm really, really excited about, it's our recent investment in West Bloomfield schools. Okay. We recently funded a project for STEM lab kits for them, and we're piloting our student-run credit union the next school year, which that's going to help more kids get entrenched in finances early on. We really love investing in youth early. In fact, little sneak peek, we're working on a partnership that's very near and dear to my heart with new mothers right now, but I'll have to tell you more about that down the road. Yeah, we will have to revisit that as well. Thank you. And that just sounds like you're continuously doing what you love and giving back to the community. But with me right here, live on The Splash, by the way, Branch People Leader for Community Financial Credit Union, Sean St. Andre, just talking about being a recipient of the upcoming Key to the Township Awards, I should say. That'll be July 30th at the Wabeek Country Club, receiving the actual, let me get this actual accomplishment, Community Excellence Award for a Spirit of the Community. You want to make sure we put some respect on that. So, Sean, further inquiring about you, you don't have to do some of the things that you're doing, right? So who or what is your inspiration to continuously give back to the community? Well, for me personally, there's an acid test for everything I do. It's my why and my purpose that drives everything. And the acid test for everything that I do is, does it honor my God? Does it honor my family? And does it build my community into a better place to live? The second one really runs congruent to them, or to that acid test, that purpose, that why, which is specifically why I came to Community Financial Credit Union. And the acid test for that, anytime we're carrying out our value proposition of building up members, building up our communities, and building up the great state of Michigan, anything we do is going to be entrenched in human-centered design, which is a term I would love for you guys to familiarize yourself that we use a lot around here. But more importantly, we're always focused on, is it going to help spread joy? And is it going to move us closer to helping another Michigander ignite an impossible dream? Makes it work really easy. There you go. No, I would say the same. And I like that because ultimately I feel like it's just highlighting, making sure that you're giving back to the community. If you're able to, first and foremost, just giving service back, because we want to make as many people as happy as possible. At the end of the day, we all want to go to work. We all want to make money. We want to live happy lives, and we want to be with our family. So if you're able to give other people and help them live their dreams and continue to be forward and happy, why not? So I completely understand, and I applaud you for that as well. Since you're being recognized, you've accomplished a lot from what I'm seeing, and you have a passion to continuously give. What about speaking to some of these young professionals that may look up to you? What advice do you give to them about getting involved in community service? Well, I got a little more salt in my hair now, if you haven't noticed. As a young man, I gave into the temptation that I think a lot of young professionals do, which is to chase accolades and prove yourself, not just in your career, but also as a human being. I think in reality, though, what I've discovered over my years in serving others is that choosing intentionally that life of sacrificial servitude to those around you will net you far more notoriety and influence than you could ever possibly imagine. So that thing that serves others instead of you, that thing that's really hard to do, or that thing that's really hard to make time for, go do that instead. I promise you the results will be better.
Yeah. Oh man. See, listen, you really preaching right now. I love that. Surrender to something bigger to yourself. The bigger picture. Like, you know, it'll only make things for yourself and other people around you so much better. We appreciate you saying that, Sean. Any hopes for the future of community collaboration in West Bloomfield and beyond before we let you go?
So are you asking my impossible dream then?
Let's go.
All right. So my impossible dream is that everybody hearing this today would start to feel that little bit of a spark, that call to action, that longing to care for others that maybe was down a little bit buried because, you know, you just got carried away with the hustle and grind of life, that you would take a moment, consider that, and then move into action. I think we have almost 1.3 million people in Oakland County alone. Can you imagine if even half of them were focused on living a life of sacrificial service to one another?
Man.
And the outpouring of generosity and care, it would be absolutely amazing. So my call, my hope, my impossible dream is that if you're hearing this today, you're going to move, you're going to go do something that's hard, and you're going to go do something for others.
The impossible dreamer, branch people leader for Community Financial Credit Union, Sean St. Andre. Thank you again for your time. We appreciate that.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. Thank you for inviting me on, and we'll hope to see more and collaborate more with you guys down the road.
Definitely looking forward to it as well. Congratulations to him as well, receiving the Community Excellence Award for the spirit of the community. That'll be at the Key to the Township Awards happening July 30th, 8:30 a.m. Wabeat Country Club. To purchase tickets, go directly to the website, westbloomfieldchamber.com. There's other things happening in our community that kind of gives you an ability to have a little bit more fun on the water during the summer months. We'll talk about that coming up. We are live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
So much is happening in your community. Join Jake, Tyler, and Kevin for local events and developments on The Splash Live, weekdays at 10 a.m. on CivicCenterTV.com, YouTube, and Facebook.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on CivicCenterTV.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at CivicCenterTV.com and click Schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you for being here. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. The Community Sailing School in Orchard Lake offers fun and engaging sailing classes for kids and young adults. And just recently, they officially became Michigan's first and only U.S. Sailing accredited community sailing center, one of just 45 in the entire country. Here to tell us more about the school, their classes, and their newest honor is Executive Director Eric Ellison. Thank you for being here, Mr. Ellison.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate that. And congratulations, first and foremost, becoming Michigan's first and only sailing accredited community sailing center. Great accomplishment. What does that accreditation mean to you and your team?
So it's a standard of excellence in our career, in our realm, that shows that we're doing things to the highest level that is available. Mm-hmm. And U.S. Sailing has a very strict policies and curriculum they adhere to, that we had to go through a process to get this accreditation, which took us over about a year and a half to get through, because they're not just going to give it to everybody. But it's very special, and we knew we were doing a good job for our community and offering a good product and service. but we wanted to make sure that we could be recognized and know that we're doing everything correctly on a national standard as well.
Got you. And that speaks volumes, because I'm pretty sure there's well over 45 actual classes or sailing classes in the entire country. But like you said, being one of 45 that's accredited makes a difference. What do you feel like with that accreditation actually sets your sailing school apart from all the other accredited schools as well?
So I think even in our state, there's probably 50 or 60 different sailing schools. But for us to be able to be one of the only accredited one in the state is wonderful news to us. But also that we've been trying to strive to do things as the U.S. Sailing Standard, which is our national governing body. So it shows that we were already doing these things, but now that we have that accreditation, it gives you that reinforcement. And I think it puts children and parents at ease that we're going to be doing things safely and correctly on the water. But we've been operating here. So I've been here since 2005, so I've been here for a long time. And then before that, I ran programs in Lake St. Clair.
Cool. I like that too. So you're well familiar with the area and the community and just the business overall. So I can't congratulate you enough as well, Mr. Ellison. So I want to ask, from a business perspective, I guess, how do you see this accreditation actually impacting the growth, the visibility, or even the partnerships of your business in the upcoming years?
So growth is a wonderful thing for us. We want to have more kids involved. We have the ability to almost double our daily rate of students just by bringing them in. We have enough equipment and we have enough coaches to house more children. So I think that one of the big barriers is cost, and we're going to work on that. So the more students we get involved, the lower we'll be able to bring costs down. And that way we can, expose ourselves to more of the community and get more kids involved from our other side. We also just expanded our program to Dodge State Park number 4. On Cass Lake. So we have a partnership with them, and our Learn to Sail Daily Camp is run from that site now. And it's a really nice way for us to be more of a part of the community and to be a little bit more inclusive in this area. And the park has been absolutely amazing to work with.
Yeah, it seems like you have a lot of consideration to the community, and like you said, the different levels and of just socioeconomic status and just things in general when it comes to people who may have interested in joining your sailing school. And with me right here live on the Splash, by the way, Executive Director for Community Sailing School in Orchard Lake, we have Eric Ellison, just talking about being accredited, one of 45 in the country, but Michigan's first and only U.S. sailing accredited community sailing center, which we love as well. Now, I want to talk about, we just spoke about community. Can you tell us a little bit more about the philosophy behind your community-focused approach to sailing?
Yeah, so we're all a family here. So during the off seasons, the summer we run the summer camp and a racing program for advanced sailors. But in the fall and the spring, we have 16 different high schools and middle schools that work with us in the area. And we run one of the most robust high school and middle school sailing programs in the area. So even our schools here like West Bloomfield and Seaholm and Detroit Country Day and all these other schools that are in our area and Troy are all a part of our programs now. And we've have over 65 kids that participate with that in the fall and spring seasons. So that they're really like a community, and that's where community sailing kind of came from, because they operate together as many different schools, but when they're here, they're one big family, and they're all together working together. And our mission statement is to develop character through sailing education.
Yeah. Bring them all together from different parts of the area and just make them all one community, one sailing community. That's essentially what they all have in common at the end of the day. Can you just give a brief overview of some of the classes or programs that's available and what you want the people or the kids to take away from those classes?
Sure. So we have a half-day summer program, which is 9 to noon in the morning. So if you've got other things like tennis or golf or football or any other sports that you do in the afternoons, we can accommodate you for the mornings. And that's 5 days a week, Monday through Fridays, on a weekly basis. We have a weekly full-day program, which is from 9 to 3:30. And then we have a 2-week program, which is 2 consecutive weeks during the summer. We run until August 22nd, and this year we started June 9th. So we had 11 weeks available for sailing. And we'll see over 300 kids this summer between our Learn to Sail, which is what we just talked about, and our racing program. So an advanced sailor will join our racing program, and they're here for the entire summer. And they're here from June 9th to August 15th to practice and travel to different events and race in the Detroit area.
Ooh, that seems so fun. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds so fun. You're talking about racing and sailing on a boat. That sounds like a great time to enjoy your summer as well. Now, one thing we have to highlight this, Eric, before we go. Safety. We're on the water. A lot of parents. We're talking about kids as well. How do your youth programs incorporate safety and confidence building, especially for beginners?
So they're 100% of the time that they're near water or on the water, we're wearing life jackets, and that's staff and our students included. Life jackets have to be fitted properly, zipped up and buckled, and same for coaches. And this is something that's part of that U.S. sailing standard is making sure that these things are done. We perform a swim check, so we're looking for familiarity in the water, and not to be anxious when we go in the water. So we start at a shallow depth and work our way into deeper water, and then with our life jackets, we're practicing swimming. We teach them how to flip the boats over and how to get the boats back upright. And teach them that the boat is not going to sink. The boat can fill with water and it's still okay. So those are the things that we do on day one. Like yesterday was the first day of our 1 week session. And before noon, they had all done all those things just to get familiar with water and know about safety. And then our power boats all have the proper safety gear, and my coaches are all trained. Boater safety, but also with U.S. Sailing, our level 1 training is a certification that coaches get to make sure they're doing things safely and correctly. But and also I've been doing this for 28 years, so we're very lucky and blessed to have such a great track record. And I think if you just slow down and you do things safely and you keep kids in a happy mode and listen and watch, then you can run a very safe program.
I was just about to say, listen to the experts as well, the ones that know what they're doing and do exactly what they ask you to do. Hey, we appreciate you so much. Anything else you want to tell to our audience, to the community about your classes or the school or just anything that they should know?
Sure. So the first thing I'd say is that you can visit us at communitysailingschool.org, and that is a great way to link up and see what our programs are about. There's a racing page, a foundation page, and a summer page, and those will all lead you to the different avenues that we do. And then we just successfully ran a really cool camp, which was a autism camp. So we had 20 kids from the area that came here with autism experts and got to go sailing, and 10 of those 20 kids actually stood on a dock for the first time and got on a boat for the first time last week. So that was a really special program that we were able to run in conjunction with Spectrum Sailing out of South Carolina.
That's what's up, man. I love to hear that. Continue to do the good work. We appreciate that again. And congratulations on your accreditation. Once again, Executive Director from Community Sailing School out of Orchard Lake, Eric Ellison. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And for more information on their sailing school or just community sailing school in general, visit their website, communitysailingschool.org, for more information. May often ranks as the single highest month for suicide, with June, July, and August regularly appearing in the top 3 of the year. Why do you think these warmer months trigger mental health crisis for some of these people? To answer that question and more, we recently spoke with therapist from Birmingham Maple Clinic, Carrie Krawiak. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, so this was an extremely interesting piece of information that I saw myself once we decided to share this story. But I'm glad that we have you here to talk about it. Spring and early summer have some of the highest suicide rates. Why do you think these warmer months trigger mental health crisis for many?
There are a lot of explanations, but it was very shocking news to me, too. One thing we have known is that violent crime goes up in the summer, and in ways, suicide is an act of violence against yourself. So there might be some explanation there, but the science says that this holds across many different countries and parts of the world. And the explanations aren't totally known, but they're looking at some biological explanations, like perhaps the temperature increases, changes in the body, changes in our neurotransmitters that might cause depression to peak. Even allergens and seasonal allergies may cause inflammation in the body, which we know inflammation can impact depression, anxiety, impulsivity.
Really?
Of course, in the summer and the lighter days, we feel more energy and we may be out more and up more and using more energy. Even certain occupations, farming, for example, is going to be peak busyness in the summer. So that may cause some stress, but also some toll on the mind and body. Comparing ourselves to other people, or even comparing ourselves to how we think we should be feeling.
Yep.
If we say, oh my gosh, summer, we should be happy in the summer, it's finally spring, we should be happy, and we're not, then that difference between where we think we should be and where we actually are makes us actually feel worse. And then lastly, of course, drinking and drug use in the summer. There's concerts, there's parties, there's lakes, there's camping, there's pools. There's sort of all these environments where maybe people are drinking more or using more recreational drugs that could also be a contributor.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you brought a lot. You brought that into perspective. I'm going to tell you that first and foremost, because at first it kind of threw me off guard, just like you said. But then as you explain the context and the different factors that play into it, it kind of makes sense, unfortunately. Now, I want to kind of look at a different angle. Some of the notes that I have, research shows that adolescents spike in suicidal ideation during fall. Now, how can schools and parents in our community of West Bloomfield better support our students as the school year begins?
Sure. I mean, I think just being aware of this research that, when a kid is thrust from their summer vacation where maybe they've had relaxed expectations and they've gotten a lot of rest, and then they start the school year and they're feeling maybe anxiety, or maybe they had a summer kind of free of the social pressures to conform or be a part of a group, and they've been with their cousins or friends that is more casual, and now they're at school and they're feeling the pulls of popularity and that stuff. Just kind of recognizing the pressures that are on them and asking your kids, how are they doing? Has their friend group changed? Are they feeling left out or excluded? Are they feeling like they're staying on top of their work? And do they feel like they're doing okay with where they want to be? And if they're not where they want to be, what steps or strategies are they taking to get there?
Yeah, it's a lot to consider. I mean, I remember just being a kid and having certain anxiety going from middle school to high school, or from high school to college, and making that transition, let alone just a grade within the same school, middle school or high school, but just making that transition alone, it can be a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations, a lot that we put on ourselves as well. So thank you for the perspective and talking about it from the youth aspect. Now, I want to kind of flip it and talk about it from more of an adult and senior base, which we have a lot of right here in our community. What community-based strategies can help lessen isolation for some of our seniors or empty nester adults during these vulnerable moments as well?
Sure. I thought these were such an important question, from an adult. And of course, I mean, seniors perhaps are maybe not as connected via internet and social media and things like that. So when they're isolated, they're very isolated. But I thought in the regard to the risk for people who are potentially suicidal, they are not embedded in a network either socially or otherwise. And our social media networks connect us to people worldwide, but we don't feel that connection locally. Even our Amazon driver isn't the same every single day. Our DoorDash deliverer isn't the same every day. So we don't really have those routine touch points we might have had in the olden days to connect with anybody when we're the least likely to connect with anybody. I mean, certainly if you have a relative that's elderly and alone, taking the time to check in on them, reach out, make plans to meet outdoors, do things that we know are good for you. But the people that are the most at risk in our communities are the ones that are not connected really to anybody.
Yeah, Yeah, and then just like you said before, just to start it off, they're not even really that connected with social media or technology. So that's a way for a lot of the younger adults or younger people to kind of connect with other people that are outside. Even if they're not around them physically, they use social media. But our older adults don't necessarily have that connection. So that's a whole nother level as well. And with me right here live on The Splash, by the way, therapist from Birmingham Maple Clinic, we have Carrie Craywick just talking about how suicidal rates usually spike during the spring and early summer months and how we can actually combat that as well. Now, from your expertise, how do you feel like, or how can local employers, health providers, or even some of these park partners right here in our community work together to enhance the mental health safety net during these summer months?
Sure, I definitely think just being informed of the signs and symptoms, recognizing if someone's, oversleeping, overeating, or undersleeping, or undereating, if they're, seem to be intoxicated at work, or if, you're noticing any changes in their activity level, all of those things would be signs. And I mean, ultimately, I always inform people, if you have the thought that somebody could be suicidal, certainly ask them outright, are you feeling suicidal? Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling safe? And if they say, if you're at risk of hurting yourself, be confident to ask, have you thought about what you would do to hurt yourself? Do you have a plan? And if they have a plan, ask them if they intend to act on it. If they're answering yes to these questions, this is a person in very high risk.
Right.
But the biggest way to be helpful to them is to ask them. Often getting that information out can relieve the situation, just knowing someone cares enough. But then certainly taking the steps to say, let's call 911 and have you evaluated, or let's call this crisis hotline and together and see if we can get you the resources you need. But it really just starts with asking those bold questions directly.
100%. And, hopefully you have a connection with someone that, you feel comfortable asking, and they feel comfortable enough answering as well. So that's a situation that we're talking about in most cases as well. Now, I want to get to a situation you were talking about with the energy increase and dealing with that. For someone who is experiencing this increased energy during these warmer months, how can your clinic personally actually help channel that energy into something positive?
I think something that's so interesting, right, especially like we said, summer is a time where maybe we feel more agitated, but the truth is that excitement, agitation, and anxiety are very closely related in our body. They all kind of feel the same. We get a little kind of jolted up. Emotional regulation is about the ability to calm down. So it's okay to have feelings and to get up or down about anything, but we always need to be able to restore normalcy. And so therapists are great. Talk therapy and talking to someone is great for helping to restore a normal mood. Certainly other activities like journaling or, taking walks outdoors, deep breathing exercises, and therapists can really look at a person's life and say, wow, these are really the skills that you have available to you. And let's see if we can use them or apply them when your mood is changing in a way that's unpleasant and unchecked.
Okay. I love the information and how you're providing context, and we don't have too much more time right here, but just to kind of pick your brain, anything that you've personally been seeing as far as trends in Greater West Bloomfield, or is there anything that we should all look out for in regards to signs to our neighbors and family members right here in Greater West Bloomfield that they may be looking for some type of help?
Yeah, I think the trends that we're seeing societally are happening here in West Bloomfield and are happening statewide and nationwide, perhaps even worldwide, is that a lot of stuff related to social comparison. So if you in the summer, you're thinking everybody's on these great vacations and I'm at work and that makes you feel miserable, that's going to contribute to depression. Or if you're a young kid starting school and you're saying, wow, everybody is friends and I don't have any or something. If you're always looking to other people to compare where you think you should be at, you're going to often find yourself feeling miserable, especially since everybody puts the Facebook favorites up instead of what's really going on in their lives. So we're probably not doing enough to realize that most of us have highs and lows in our life, and it's not just everybody else's highlight reel and yours is all the downside. And we see that year round, whether it's at the holidays and it looks like other people are spending more money, or it's at Valentine's and someone has a better relationship. So those things happen year round where these events trigger this social comparison that's really inaccurate, and people really feel a lot of shame that's so unnecessary. The other thing I think is a societal concern is that there are people who are like not really connected in their community. They're getting their groceries delivered, they're getting DoorDash, they're not really going outdoors and doing healthful activities. They're not really encountering other people in face-to-face life. They're doing their work via Zoom, they're maybe doing their therapy via Zoom, and just like those will be the hardest people to connect with, you know, as a society, but those are the people that are probably the deepest need and the most vulnerable.
Yes, yeah. And then even when you get a DoorDash or something like that, you have the option to not even meet the person dropping that off. Just leave it at the door, and I'll come out there, and you just go away. So I mean, I get it to a certain extent, but those are great different factors that we all need to consider when we're maybe evaluating ourselves or others that we love. But we want to thank you so much again for your time and your information. Once again, therapists from Birmingham Maple Clinic, Carrie Krawick, we appreciate you again.
Thank you so much.
Many different things to keep in mind when you want to be emotionally aware of others people's feelings and moods. And we actually spoke with many other local professionals about relevant health topics such as skin health, oral care, diets, and more. And you can check out our interviews at civiccentertv.com. Click on the On Demand tab. Summer months usually mean increased activity outside, but how is West Bloomfield dealing with it? We'll talk about that coming up. We are live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
So much is happening in your community. Join Jake, Tyler, and Kevin for local events and developments on The Splash Live, weekdays at 10 a.m. on CivicCenterTV.com, YouTube, and Facebook.
Floodwaters can rise fast. Take precautions to stay safe. Follow the instructions of local officials and all emergency notifications. If authorities say evacuate, don't wait. Do not walk, swim, or drive through floodwaters. Just 1 foot of water can sweep away a vehicle. Never drive around barricades. You don't know what danger may be on the other side. For more tips on how to protect your family, visit ready.gov/floods.
Hi, I'm Lisa Brown, Oakland County Clerk, Register of Deeds. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, for reaching 1 million views on YouTube. What a momentous milestone. To everyone at Civic Center TV, thank you for all you do to make the Greater West Bloomfield area a special place to live by increasing transparency in government and showcasing wonderful community events. I'm Lisa Brown, and I'm proud to be 1 in a million.
Bringing you stories and memories from Sylvan Lake. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host for today, Kevin McIntosh. Some reports say that during the summer months, criminal activity increases, and even in a community like Greater West Bloomfield, that could also reign true. So how are some local residents responding? Through self-defense classes. I actually recently visited True Martial Arts at the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield to find out how residents are not only learning self-defense, but also gaining confidence and camaraderie.
Well, I mean, it is a safe community, but you do travel all over, and even in safe communities, things do happen, and it's good to be prepared, especially as a parent. You just never know what's going to happen, and it gives you a sense of confidence. You can just face whatever is going to happen.
What could be more important than knowing how to defend yourself, right? We talk about how martial arts builds confidence in people, and there's a certain brand of confidence that's built through self-defense training, knowing that you can walk through life and that even if you don't have all the tools to defend yourself, that you have some.
Although the classes were meant to teach individuals how to protect themselves, current students and members tell us how it can be a great team-building exercise as well.
It's so much fun. It really is. And you get to meet and work with new partners on a daily basis. And we get the opportunity to explore how each other works and our technique and what we're good at, what we're bad at. And as a result of all of that, it helps to build team building 100% across the line. And our instructor team here is amazing.
Big part of this is like sort of common bond through like sacrifice. So you come in, everybody's working to their limit, sweating, they can't go any further. Other people around you are in the same situation. So coming through that together on the other side, like you just have that natural bond because you know that they went through the same thing you went through and kind of pulled each other through it.
Besides the combat and camaraderie, Greater West Bloomfield residents take away more than just the skills for self-defense at True Martial Arts.
I am definitely in much better condition than I was before I started. I feel like I'm a lot stronger. I'm a lot more confident in myself and my ability, and it does help keep me in very good shape for things outside of class, just taking care of your home or your parents or your children.
And we want to thank True Martial Arts for allowing us in the building to actually watch their classes in person. You can visit them at the Orchard Mall at Orchard Lake Road right here in West Bloomfield as well. And keep up with Civic Center TV on all digital platforms. We are on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, YouTube, Instagram, and X at Civic Center TV. Make sure you give us a follow. Not if you're driving and listening to 89.3. Go to our website, civiccentertv.com. I've been your host, Kevin McIntosh. Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.